Most meetings suck even when they're in person, but they can be even more challenging in a hybrid world. And I'm going to share some tips on how to make hybrid meetings much more productive and effective. One challenge with meetings is that we have too many of them. Make sure you hit the subscribe button because I am going to do a video coming up about how to get away from so many meetings. But for now, let's assume we're in meetings with a hybrid workforce. And that means some people are on site, some people are remote. So tell me in the comments, have you ever been the person calling in on the Star Trekky-like phone in a conference room and other people are in the same room together? Sometimes you can't hear what people are saying. You can't see the whiteboard people are working on. There are so many challenges with this, but let's face it, we've actually had this hybrid thing going on for a while because many of us have gone through that experience. A study from Owl Labs in 2019 found that 67% of remote workers said that being interrupted or talked over was a challenge in meetings. So hybrid really makes this challenge an amplified thing. It's going to happen in more meetings if some people are on site and some people are off. Here are 5 tips to help you to make those meetings more effective. First of all, call on the remote person first. Actually make a point of asking them for their feedback before you go to the people in the room. Second tip, and this is from years of facilitating groups, remote, in-person, hybrid. I make a list of everyone in the meeting and check off each time they interact. And if I notice someone has fewer check marks or no check marks, I'm going to call on that person. So make your list and manage that room and try to have an equal amount of check marks as much as possible. Thirdly, have everyone call into the meeting separately, even if they're in the same location. That equalizes the playing field. That's one of the amazing things that happened over this pandemic was that people who often were remote found that they actually had the same experience as the people who used to be in the office next door to the CEO or their manager. And it really equalized relationships across the company. So you can sort of create that atmosphere by having everyone call into the call remotely on their laptops, even if they are in the same location. Fourth tip, default to shared whiteboards, shared documents for meeting minutes. We use something called Mural, which is a paid app that is like Post-it note boards. They've got tons of templates for different kinds of meetings. You can use just Google Docs. You can use Google Jamboard. Whatever it is, use something shared so that everyone can access that virtual document that's in the cloud together. And then fifth and final tip for today is to create breakout rooms in your larger meetings so that people can have more conversations in small groups. We all know that it can be difficult, especially for the introverts among us, to put our hand up and speak up in a large group. This is why I love breakout groups. You can put people in pairs, in groups of 3 or 4, whatever it is. Even take it a step further and use a liberating structure called 1, 2, 4, which means you give them a minute to think on their own, you give them a couple of minutes in partners, and then you give them more time in groups of 4 so that everyone's voice is heard, and then you can bring all of that knowledge and information and insight back to the main group. So those are the 5 tips to help you make your hybrid meetings better. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell so that you can get more like this, and tell me what has helped you in a hybrid meeting.